Let's talk about something that we often feel keeps us from being able to live our dream lives: money. In particular, the lack of enough of it. During long stretches of my life, I spent many sleepless nights worrying about money. Will we ever pay off our credit card balances? Could we save enough to pay for our kids' college educations? And will we be one of those couples who'd have to work for the rest of our lives just to make ends meet? These questions and others played over and over in my mind for many years. Can you relate to that? Do money worries keep you up at night as well? Well, what if I were to say that you have the ability to ease your financial stresses simply by paying attention to your body? Sounds a little unbelievable, doesn't it? But my guest, internationally known speaker and healer Cyndi Dale, the author of Advanced Chakra Healing, says it's true that your body holds your concerns and your programs about money. And by taking steps to discover where your financial issues lie, you can then move to heal them. Let's find out what she means. Welcome to the Dream Power Show, Cyndi.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Let's dream about money today. I think money's on the top of most of our minds, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. You heal your money issues and you heal so many of your other issues too.
Oh, and we would love to know how we can do that. But Cyndi, let's start with this. As an energy healer, you work with chakras and you say they hold the key to our financial well-being. So could you explain what chakras are and how they affect our money scripts?
Absolutely. So chakras are subtle energy organs. They're energy organs, and that's the emphasis I want to place on my definition first. Everything's made out of energy. Albert Einstein said it and proved it decades ago. The key to that phrase, however, is that we also now know that 99.999 percent of all energy is subtle. It's invisible. We can't see it or measure it. So it's not really what we're doing with the physical us that's both establishing our money issues and preventing us from having money. It's what's happening in that swirl of, kind of subtle energies. And what's beautiful is that chakras are steering wheels that run the subtle energy. So you work with your major chakra to work on your money issues, or you can always focus on what's called the first chakra, which is the physical chakra down in the root system. You take either approach and you're well on your way to opening up for more abundance and healing what's been in the way of receiving.
Okay, so how do we figure out which chakra is our money chakra?
Okay. So for everybody, your main money chakra is really honestly going to be that first chakra. It's in the hips. It's red. It's fundamental. It's programmed when we're in the womb to age 6 months. And so everything you've inherited from your family system is sitting in that chakra. So if you have a doubt, work in your first chakra. But we also have a major chakra through which we operate that our soul sort of sits in and kind of like most easily accesses the world. And so you can kind of figure it out by just knowing your own personality, which by now most of us do know, right? So if you're a really physical person, that's your first chakra. If you're an emotional creator, your main chakra is probably your second chakra. That's in the abdomen. If you're a thinker, I am not this person. Organized, you file and you can find your papers again. You're a third chakra person. All right. That's in the solar plexus. If you're the romantic, relator, healer personality, that relates to the fourth chakra, which is in the chest. Let's say you're obviously a communicator. You're the talker, the singer, the reader, the always working with higher concepts. Fifth chakra in the throat. Or you're more the visionary, the seer, whether you be the clairvoyant, kind of getting the psychic images, or you're just very strategic and very, very visual. Like you notice what somebody's wearing, and that's how you remember what you were doing in second grade. You remember the clothes you had on. You're a sixth chakra person. And then the seventh chakra is kind of the end of the in-body chakras. That's the energy center that's on the top of the head. we typically see it, it's white, it's spiritual, it's pure. And so if you're that person, you're a seventh chakra person. So it kind of makes sense. If you're a physical person like I am, first chakra, you're going to approach money really differently than, say, a seventh chakra spiritual person, because your head's in the clouds. If you're the seventh chakra person, you're just going to approach money and have a different value system around money, and therefore make money differently than that physical doer kind of a person. So it is helpful to have a sense of what's your main chakra, because you're going to approach money the same way that you would be approaching your life, your decision making, how you're going to eat. And so I really love it when people figure out that primary chakra, because all of a sudden you don't have to do things the way other people do them. You don't have to think about money the way everybody else does. I mean, if you're seventh chakra and you're more of that dreamer, I mean, not just like visual dreams, right? But you're more of that, it's about, kind of what source or God wants you to be doing, or how, spirit wants you to be spending money. Approach it that way. Your financial planner, unless they're helping you with that capacity of your personality, may not really be that helpful for you.
So would you say then that depending on, where you believe your main chakra is, determines how you invest money or save money, or even the job that you take on?
Absolutely. I think it's going to make all the difference in the world. So free yourself up to be who you are, because your money style is going to be very closely aligned with your chakra slash soul slash personality style. So again, like, I'm a first chakra person. All right. I'm a doer. I don't really think much about the value system of things. I mean, I really do. But my approach to life is like, what can I get done? How do I check off the list? What's going to keep my body healthy? And so I make decisions that way. I sold my house, kind of years ago, because it didn't feel right for my body anymore. And I paid off my mortgage 2 to 3 years ago, because I could feel in my body that it felt like a weight, that every time I was going to be paying that mortgage, I felt heavy, I felt depressed, I felt like it got in the way of my physical health. So starting about 5 years ago, I was like, well, unlike a third chakra thinker, I'm not gonna, kind of do like a budget. I've never had a budget. Third chakra people have to have a budget. I was like, my priority is just paying off this house. So I just started paying it off. Like 2, 3, 4 times a month, I would just pay off extra money. I didn't think about how long it was going to take. I didn't have a budget. That's a very third chakra thing to have. I was like, well, I'm just going to pay it off. That's what I'm doing. That's going to make me feel good. And I paid it off. Like 3 years into that approach, my house was paid off, because I worked with my personality around it. Like, if I had a budget, I would have probably quit. I I wouldn't have. I can't even understand budgets, to be honest.
Right. So your focus wasn't on the money, it was more on how it made you feel.
Yes, how my physical body felt. Like, I will feel more free. I'll feel like I can travel more often. I'll feel like I'm going to feel great about myself. My health is going to improve if I pay this off. Like a second chakra person, say you're thinking of paying off your house or saving money or whatever, you're emotional. Second chakra, orange people in the abdomen, you're going to want to go, it's going to make me feel happy to pay off my house. I feel happy every time I make a payment. Or I'm going to reward myself with going, to the theater, or, kind of with painting a painting, or, you've got to reward yourself in a different way to work with your money than you would with your first chakra person. So having that sense of your personality is going to make a difference, too. Some people are more romantic. So for them to put aside money, or to decide how to spend money, it's going to be, I'm going to save money to buy that, little retreat center, that maybe I just personally get to retreat to in Italy. And I may not have a partner right now, but by the time I have the money set aside to buy that abode in Italy or Greece or Disneyland or whatever it is that makes them feel beautiful about themselves and romantic, that's then the carrot kind of that they hold in front of themselves.
There's the other factor. I don't live alone. I have a husband,
Yes.
and obviously, his money chakra might be different from mine. So, yeah, how do we best combine those in a way that works together instead of
And
against each
I'm sure it is. Most of us aren't with our similars. Right? So it's excellent when you have somebody different than you because each of you take your own approach. If you're in that beautiful place of communion and you're sharing, you want what's best for him, he wants what's best for you. And so it's really a matter of saying, honey, I'm going to support your style in being debt free, in making money, in doing what you love doing in order to bring in money. You're going to support mine. And then you know what? You end up, frankly, with twice as much money, is what happens.
other.
Because if you're each going with your own style, it's like one thing I've noticed it's just something I've observed over the decades that I know a lot of women who are obviously because of what I do for a living, which is intuition and energy. I know a lot of women in my same field. And frankly, often the healthiest relationships, kind of for the pocketbook is they're often matched with men who are really good with third chakra or first chakra. Right? Right? They're like, well, we're investing our money or let's do a budget. So as long as we make room for both personalities, it ends up being win-win because the partners that they're with can then have a little bit more fun and look at value systems. And, kind of there's like a steady growth of money often at the same time. So it's actually really good to be partnered with somebody who's got a different chakra type than you do because you build in different ways as long as you make room for what's important for each to spend money on. When I was with my oldest son's father, we were very different with money. He was very second chakra. He was really expressive, creative, loved buying books. I love buying books too. So we had a lot in common. So everything important to him was the fabric, the texture, kind of how he could create within it. And I'm really first chakra. I'm like, okay, what am I getting for this? Right. And so we saw a money therapist who told both of us, look, you get $200 a month, he gets $200 a month, or whatever it is. And each of you just spend money on what you want. And he'd just go out every month and buy like, you know, cognac or cigars or, all this stuff that he really loved, a nice shirt and this and that. I saved my money. I stuck it in my drawer and I was like, I'm saving for a big trip. And it must have been more than $200 because after about a year, I had this money and I was like, well, will you watch Michael while I go to Europe? Because I'm going to go to all the power centers that I can find in Europe. I literally had 42 power centers I was going to go to. I said, I have the money to now go to 42 power centers. And he's like, where'd you get that money? I'm like, well, I saved it because this is what I want to do. So you got to make the space for each other and then don't poke into why they're spending money the way they're spending money either.
Well, Cyndi, when people are going under, have financial crises or have financial stress, something that goes along with that is fear. So does fear also lie in the same chakra?
Yeah, I mean, and I understand that fear. Years and years ago, when I had my oldest son, he was maybe, I don't know, he wasn't very old, 3 or 4. We were on our own. And I'm like, how am I going to, keep up with payments for an office, an apartment, for school? I was terrified. And so I would propose that people work with two different types of chakras when they're in fear because there really is something very scary and challenging going on with money. So first work with your main chakra. All right. And so we alleviate fear primarily by understanding there's different types of fear indifference of the chakras. So your first chakra, the fear is going to be about survival. Now, remember in the beginning, I also said money does ultimately, and anybody always involve that first chakra. And so you also want to work with your first chakra when you're in financial fear, because that first chakra, it's survival and security, and there ain't no deeper you can go. When you're in a money crisis, then am I going to survive? Because we have to have money to survive. And these past few years have really made a lot of us question, am I going to get sick? Am I going to keep my job? Is my job going to disappear? If I go to my job, will I die on the job? I mean, everything right now is about fear. So work your first chakra and like go into those rooted family of origin issues about what did I inherit from mom and dad around money. You're going to feel better in every capacity of your life when you're going through a money crisis, when you work with that level anyway. Like maybe mom, was programmed by her parents. And like my mom, who's now passed, grew up in the Depression. So, I mean, when my mom died, I had to bring into this house like 40 big packages of toilet paper. So I'm like, well, I don't have to be scared about that during the pandemic because I got her toilet paper. So what was in the family system? And then if you're a double first chakra like I am, and everything is about survival, then you want to create a plan on what actions you're going to take to deal with money. Like, I'm going to go get a different job. I'm going to work longer. So personally, whenever I get scared about money, I just take more clients. I just work more. Even if I don't need to, it's my go-to. Second chakra, you're going to need to work with the emotions around, the fear-based emotions around money. Are you actually scared of money? Are you scared of having too much money? Kind of how do you get more creative with your money? Third chakra, the types of money fears that fit inside of the third chakra are going to be about structure. Like, can I keep my structure going? Am I going to have a job? Create a structure, do a budget. If you're a third chakra person and you've got financial fear, figure out how many hours you need to work or what kind of jobs are going to pay you enough. Fourth chakra, that's the healing center in the heart. If you're in financial fear, think about how friends can help you. How can you help your friends? Can you hire yourself out to your friends? I mean, take a relational approach to money to lift yourself forward. Fifth chakra, communication. You want to go, okay, first of all, what messages do I give myself about money? What messages do I give myself about my ability to make money or not, or deal with a crisis? And is there a communicative way to create more money? Is there a job I could take that's communication based to make more money? So that's how I would approach a money crisis for a fifth chakra person. Sixth chakra, it's going to be about vision, visuals. What's your strategic plan? Where do you want to be in 5 years? How do you get yourself there? But you also have to work with self-image in the sixth chakra, because we carry a negative self-image. I mean, come on, we all do, right? In that sixth chakra. So if you can change a negative self-image into a more productive one, you've got it. And if you need to go get a job, make sure you look great. Borrow clothes that make you feel like $1,000,000, because your attitude will shift when you're interacting with people if you look like $1,000,000. When I started, I have quite a bit of visual. When I started years ago, when I was like 20, 21, in the corporate world, I had 2 suits. That's it. I didn't have enough money. I made $5 an hour. So, but I had 2 really good suits and I kept getting promotions because I knew that having really good looking suits, which I bought at Goodwill, it's still around, were going to make a difference. So I worked with that. And then seventh chakra, if you're in a money crisis, what you want to do is get to the heart of your higher spirit and the heart of your source of spirit. So honestly, free yourself from those old-fashioned spiritual lies like God doesn't want you having money, or poor people get into heaven faster. I mean, that's just stuff doesn't pertain to reality. And open to abundance mindsets that don't make you feel like, bad about yourself, but rather good about yourself, and then look at careers, look at ways to make money that might involve helping other people spiritually, right? Promoting spirituality, being a coach. So carrying the value system for an organization. And, so I think it's, kind of getting in touch with your primary chakra personality can help you figure out ways that'll work for you to make money too.
Just how can people find out more about you and your work?
Oh, that's a short answer. Just go on my website. It's cindydale.com, spelled weird, CYNDI Dale.com. Everything's in one place.
We've been talking about healing money issues with energy healer Cyndi Dale.